I have not been recording at all, so I have no banter for the beginning of this episode.
Are we gonna start recording before like 11:30 or?
Wow. Fantastic. Hello and welcome back to the FTHcast. We are on lucky episode number 13. Woo!
Hey!
Yay. Anyway, and of course, I'm just going to introduce the guest right off. I don't know if I usually do that. I don't know. I don't have any kind of way of doing this. I make it up as I go. Awkward pause. We have
Very awkward.
the biggest noob of them all, Nathan.
Oh, that's supposed to be Kyle.
I know.
Well,
Did I mess it all up?
Yeah.
Oh,
Makes you feel better, Nathan. I was prepared for it to be me. I am a noob.
okay. Well, okay, you're right. Kyle's a bigger noob. All right, Kyle, say hello, Kyle.
Hello. Wait, can you go back and introduce me as the noob lord Kyle?
The great and powerful noob lord Kyle.
The wonderful and...
Yeah.
Yes, I'm here. Okay.
Yeah. And of course, we have our... do I call you guests? I should call you other hosts, co-hosts, because you're really co-hosts at this point. You're not guests. But we also have Nathan. Say hello, Nathan. I know one of these days I'm going to write a huge list of just like different things I could say. But I can't do it on the fly like this. I don't know what I'm doing. I just got off work. I'm tired. Mm-hmm. Did you say hello yet, Nathan?
Oh, I said hey.
Oh, okay, cool. Best intro ever. Don't forget this month, though, before we get into the main topic, this month is August, and the game of the month, this is our first game of the month ever, and it's Earthbound. So be playing along, look it up, search it out, or just wait for the podcast, because we're going to talk about it all on the podcast. It's a good game. I'm excited about the podcast. Are you guys excited about the Earthbound podcast?
The only thing I know about Earthbound at this point is PK Fire.
PK Fire. I don't even know what that means. And so you're miles ahead of me. So
Fantastic.
All right. Topic of the week is DLC. Yeah. That's it. I'm sorry. I know there's a lot of other people. A lot of other people are hoping for, like other topics. Something more interesting. No. But yeah, I actually have kind of been excited about this topic since it's been on the list. It's the reason why I just picked it out of the blue today. So, but I'm going to start out as lame as I start every podcast out and ask you guys, I'll word it different though. Like, what's your most memorable, shut up. Your most memorable DLC out of the video games you played? First one to talk gets to answer.
I'll go.
All right.
One of the, I guess, funner ones that I have played was the Undead Nightmare for Red Dead Redemption. It was completely, I don't know, it was just really weird because in the very beginning, spoiler alert, if you haven't played this 5-year-old game, and also it's DLC, turn back now.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, like, there's characters in the very beginning that get turned into zombies, and then somehow they are cured in the end and like go back to being normal humans. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, it's really awesome because there's there's horses you can get in it that are like, instead of being the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, they're just the 4 horses of the apocalypse. So there's like war, pestilence, so on and so on.
Right.
That was really cool. There's like Bigfoot. There's just a bunch of small little Easter eggs, and of course it's zombies, and you blow them up, and it's awesome. But it was just kind of neat. It was kind of before a lot of the zombie thing kind of caught on, so it was really kind of just unique and fun to play.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I have not played the game, so that whole bit was a huge spoiler for me. So
well, you should have muted all audio out.
I should have just cut you off and not let you talk at all, and then 2 minutes later.
Have you really not played any Red Dead Redemption?
I haven't. They're Rockstar games. They're open world games. I just don't do those kind. I'm really weird about those kind of games. I don't like any of the Grand Theft Autos. Like, I just don't do that.
The only Grand Theft Auto I've ever played through is 3, and that was, we all know how long ago that was.
Yeah.
And I didn't like 4, and then I was even skeptical about getting
Red Dead
Redemption. Yeah, because I remember asking, shout out to Van Russelberg.
Woo!
Trent at the time, he was playing it, and I said, hands down, right now, if you had to get any game, you could only get one game, and you had to get one, what would it be? He said Red Dead Redemption. I left his house, went home that afternoon, stopped by GameStop, got it, and like obsessed playing through it, and it was awesome.
Wow. Interesting stuff. How about you? I'm sorry. How about you, Nathan? Favorite, most memorables?
There's 2. One,
Munchkin.
Shivering Isles.
Oh, okay, go.
Shivering Isles for Oblivion was freaking incredible. That's probably the first DLC that I've ever
That one's really good.
played.
Mm-hmm.
Second is Secret Armory of General Knox for Borderlands 1 was freaking incredible.
I'm so glad you said that because I completely forgot about that game.
Man, that DLC was like 16 hours long. It was like a completely another game.
It was.
Awesome.
It was really good, and that boss fight was really fun.
Heck yeah, dude.
Neither of you Jagons, well, Paul hasn't gone yet. I'll let him go first. Sorry, I just called you all Jagons
Whoa.
on false pretense.
Now I got to make sure my answer's real good to totally...
It's
It's because we didn't say Zombie Red Dead Redemption is the problem.
No, man, you know what? It's something that you've said before, but I'll let you continue.
About how... We're talking about Borderlands 1, first of all.
I know what you're talking about. Never. Just go. Just
Okay,
continue.
okay. I'll go. I'll be happy to go.
Paul, what was your most memorable DLC?
It actually... Horse Armor from Oblivion. I've said it. Best DLC. No, I'm just kidding.
Hands down, best DLC ever.
I don't know. My first thought goes to like Fallout 3, so I should probably go with that. And
Okay, that's what I was.
What? Oh,
Just
you're gonna
interrupt-
just stop talking, please, for a second? Okay.
Yeah,
But
that's what I
it's-
just interrupted the whole show for, because if you didn't say that, I was going to get really upset because a few episodes ago you were talking about how awesome it was.
No. The Borderlands, the original Borderlands DLC was really fun, and I'm sure the Borderlands 2 DLC is really fun. I just got tired of the game, but the most memorable for me is I can never remember what it's called, but it's the one where you go down in Louisiana, and actually all of them were like the Alaskan one and the pit and the spaceship one. Like all the DLC for Fallout 3 was really good, and actually even Fallout New Vegas, it was pretty good. But it was kind of the same thing. Like I just kind of got burned out before I got through all the DLC. I mean, we're talking like, because really New Vegas is like an expansion pack, if anything, more than a sequel. It's just like the same game. It's just a lot more of it. And so like playing through all of Fallout 3 and all that DLC, I just never got through the New Vegas DLC because I really wanted to play the last one in New Vegas that kind of wraps up the story. It's about the other courier. It's like Death Road or something. I don't know. Rosebud, something like that. But it's all about the other courier. I think it's about the guy who shot you in the beginning or something. I don't know. But but anyway, yeah. I really love Fallout's DLC. I just think they always do a really good job, especially Obsidian. They know what they're doing when they're telling a story.
Actually, I want to change mine. My favorite DLC so far is the DLC that you had to buy to fully experience Mass Effect 3.
Yeah.
And all of its characters.
I'm assuming that's sarcasm.
Yes.
Good.
You talking about the alternative ending to Mass Effect 3?
No, I'm talking about the downloadable content for the what's the alien race that
the Protoss.
What?
Did I make that up? Protoss is Star Wars or StarCraft. I'll just shut up.
Oh my gosh, Paul.
I'm just completely wrong. Oh, is it the Ferengis? Is it the
Kyle just laughed. He said F it.
Kyle's gone. No, what were you saying, Kyle?
The Protheans, wasn't it?
I was close.
Yeah.
I don't. Is it where
Prometheus.
you had
Wait, you're talking about the bad guys or the Protheans are like the ancient alien race in the...
Yeah, and that was the day one DLC.
Yeah.
For yes.
Where you got that extra character.
Yeah.
There was the on-disc DLC.
Yeah, which was stupid because it was like, oh, but he's, I don't know, he was part of your crew. So I mean, it was essentially just part of the story that you had to pay for.
Yeah, you paid for this whole CD, right? You paid for the whole CD and everything on it, and the book and the case and all this stuff for it. You paid for the right to play the game on the Xbox and Xbox Live, whatever. But there's one little bit that if you want to play that, you're gonna have to pay a little bit more, even though you technically own the information. You just don't own access to it. That's mind-boggling. And EA did that a couple of times, didn't they? They did it like a couple times in a row, didn't they? I feel like EA was really bad about it right around the time. You haven't seen it.
3 had. I don't know if they had day one DLC, but as far as like microtransactions and stuff like that, I guess that's.
Dead Space 3, yeah. No, I don't think it had day one DLC. It was, I don't know. I know the big one was, of course, Mass Effect 3, and that's. It's just weird. Like, why would I don't understand why you would think that's acceptable.
I actually, well, never mind. That's for another time and another cast.
Okay, whatever, bro.
Well, I just, on the thing in the mat, this is getting way off topic, but I saw an article today on if BioWare can recapture the magic of Mass Effect and Mass Effect 4, and I think no.
Well, luckily I didn't play all the way through.
If the same writer from the first two would come back, then yes.
And I didn't play Mass Effect 3, so if they could just get a good story, I won't care. I'll play it. I'll play the crap out of it.
If they didn't give you empty promises, like a bunch of butt horns.
Yeah. No, they wrapped it up really good. Everything ended up okay, and different colors flashed around the screen. That's how it happened.
Exactly. Anyway, back to DLC.
Back to DLC. No, feel free to take us off scale. There's nothing to talk about with DLC.
I just realized how
45 minutes.
I just realized how bitter I still am about.
I'm super bitter.
Oh my god, I just got pissed off on a whole nother level. Just thinking about it.
No, I'm pretty bitter because that was like, and again, it really is kind of effective. Like, well, I mean, it's part of the conversation because like because Dragon Age was kind of the same way. Like the first one was really good. I bought all the DLC for that game because I thought it was good and I wanted to play more. So when Dragon Age 2 came out, I was super excited. But that's the thing. Like, it wasn't that the game was bad because the gameplay didn't change that much. It changed a little bit. It actually got a little bit easier. Because the first game was really tactical, Dragon Age. The second game was a little more hack and slashy. They kind of did that for console players. But what was I saying? But I didn't get the DLC for the second one just because the story wasn't good because I didn't care, and that's kind of important. Like, and I guess that could easily be my next point here. Like, what causes you to buy DLC? Is it just good gameplay, or is there something else that causes you guys to buy DLC? Nathan, you can go.
Go ahead, Nathan.
I mean, gameplay is part of it. I don't know. I guess, gameplay and storyline. I mean, I just have to really be intrigued by it. Like, for instance, I love BioShock Infinite.
Right.
But the first DLC that came out with, like you said, is an arena battle or something. Mm-hmm. I could care less about that. I want something to further the story or... I don't know, bring something else out. So no, I'm not going to buy the first one of that. But if they come out with more, I think the next DLC will be them going back to, I think, Rapture, which would be pretty sweet. And I plan on getting it.
It's the next two. Next two are in Rapture.
Oh, really?
Sweet. Yeah, I'd say,
yeah, one you play as Deckard Cain, whatever that dude's name is. What's his name?
Is that another Star Trek character?
No, it's actually a Diablo 3 character. Diablo 2.
DeWitt.
Booker DeWitt. And then the next one you play as Elizabeth. Dun, dun, dun. And it's supposed to be more like exploratory than combat driven. But they're also mixing in like original BioShock weapons and powers with BioShock Infinite weapon and powers. So the combat could be really, really interesting. And they're supposed to be like big baby daddies, whatever they're called.
Baby daddies.
Baby daddies.
Can we talk about also how great the weapon upgrade system was in the original BioShock and how it was completely absent from Infinite?
I mean, if
just
you
a thought.
Yeah, let's just screw DLC. We're going to talk about BioShock weapon upgrades.
Are you done talking, Nathan?
Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Oh, nothing. I kind of.
What makes you buy DLCs, Kyle?
I ashamedly have bought a lot of Call of Duty DLC.
God.
I know. Well,
do you have the Black Ops 2 maps? Because I do. That's dedication.
Were you a Black Ops was it Plus member like Paul was for Black Ops?
I was elite.
Modern Warfare 3.
Call of Duty Elite.
Call of Duty Elite.
But no, like, but the thing is, a lot of those maps I like infinitely better than the ones that shipped with the game.
Oh, yeah.
So that's kind of what I found with like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Like all the game types that come out after that, I like a lot better than what's actually shipped like at release.
Right.
Those obviously aren't a gameplay or story. That's just something to. I spent $60 on this game that I'm going to be playing until the next one comes out with my friends, and I'm already bored of the.
That's a really good point though, because like even that original Borderlands DLC, like I didn't buy any of that because I cared about the story. The original Borderlands story was stupid. You fight the monster at the end. That's what you do. That's just all that it's about. Go to the vault. So the other DLC was literally just so me and David and Logan and Justin could all play together more. We could play that game more because we just had fun playing through that game the first time. So a lot of, and I don't know. Was your thought finished? I was getting ready to go off.
Well, no, I was continuing, but
no, go ahead.
But I mean, there's also games that I love because of the story, like Mass Effect or BioShock, that I've gotten DLC for and been incredibly let down by it because, like Nathan said, like I don't care what anybody says. Like the reason you play BioShock is because of the story. The Vigors are cool and stuff, but at least I play it for the story,
right?
Because I think Ken Levine's a great writer, and there's always some kind of like, something you've not seen before in video game storytelling that you really want to see. So to hear that the first DLC was just like a arena-based combat, like that was the worst part about Infinite, like like a 8-year-old shooter, trapped in like this, fantastic world with this, really good AI and stuff like that. But
it just seemed pointless too. That's one thing that takes me off about DLC is that just seems like a cop out, like a way to get some extra money.
Yeah, I really think and I stand by the point like that first piece of DLC is meant to just announce the other two pieces of DLCs
right. But
the
problem is they're charging money for it. Like to me,
but the thing is too, the people that bought the season pass though, that kind of sucks. Your first DLC and it's like, oh, yeah, we're just gonna give you this piece of crap, so we can give you 2 other good ones.
That's I was downloading it and like literally text Paul almost that exact same thing. Like I was like, the only reason I am downloading this is because I bought the season pass. Like I'm not gonna play it, but if I'll feel like I'll have just wasted money if I don't like just have it on my hard drive. If
it was something like, okay, look, we're gonna improve the combat, right? We're gonna change the combat for the next 2 DLCs. Here's a taste of the combat before the DLC comes out, and it's done this way, and we think it's better. Right, yeah. Like that'd be kind of cool.
Like a new game mechanic or something. Yeah, like something like that. But it was just now. But you can use all of the powers and all the guns. That's great. I used one gun the whole game because that's all I need. I used the pistol. That was it.
Yeah, I switched it up, but just because I got bored.
Yeah, but and then like other games like Dishonored, I feel like I haven't played any of the DLC for it, but I feel like that game came out a long time ago, and it seems like in their case the DLC has progressively gotten better for it. Because the first one that came out was just kind of a time trial. Then there was the I can't remember.
Knife of Dunwall.
The Knife of Dunwall, yeah, where you play as the
bad guy. The guy who killed the assassin who killed
yeah, and then now there's the Wigmore Bridget. The Witches. Out here soon.
I'm excited.
I think that looks awesome.
I love me some Dishonored. I remember when I first saw that game like on Game Informer, and I was like, man, this game looks weird. This does not look like who was it? It wasn't
Bethesda.
Bethesda, yeah. Okay. So it does not look like a Bethesda game, but man, it was freaking fantastic. And I have the Knife of Dunwall, but I haven't played it yet. I didn't get the Dunwall City Trials or whatever, but I'm gonna play Knife of Dunwall here soon because I got to get to I gotta get through the DLC. It's interesting. I want to know more about the whalers and the whales and stuff.
Yeah. See, I thought it was going to be a little bit more open world than it was. Like a lot more like finding out about like the city and stuff like that through like exploration and like talking to people and stuff like that.
It's a lot of reading. It's really boring. But you never know.
Don't get me wrong. I mean, it was still odd, but like I think that just goes to like theirs don't seem to come out like on a they're not coming out like like a by month or whatever. So
right. It's not like really fast.
Yeah, like DLC is very I guess kind of two-sided. Like if it's thoughtful and like well done, like I'm all for it. But if it's arena mode I'm like, that's kind of stupid. So.
Yeah. And that's kind of interesting. Like, and I was thinking about this before we started the podcast today. Like, a long time ago, and this is probably more so just with PC games than there were with console games. Like console games, you didn't have. I mean, I'm talking like even GameCube era, like and before. Like you didn't have DLC for those consoles because a lot of those consoles weren't online, but you would have sequels, and then like for PC, you didn't have DLC or anything. You had either mods, which the community made, or you would get like expansion packs. Like I remember getting expansion packs for like the old Command and Conquers and stuff, and like the Warcraft games and stuff that just added to the experience and basically were the same as DLC, except for they were usually more expensive and they had a lot more to them. Like that's. But the day of expansion packs are like gone. Like you just don't see expansion packs anymore. The only company that I know that really makes expansion packs is Blizzard. And I don't know how they get away with it. They do it for World of Warcraft and they do it for like StarCraft. And I won't be surprised if they try to do it for Diablo 3 after they release on consoles. Ugh.
I'm going to buy some sweet expansion packs for my Arkham Horror board game.
Oh.
That was kind of a joke. But
no, I get it. That's really cool though.
I actually don't know.
Oh, you don't?
I wish we all had that. Nathan.
Yes.
Come down and get Logan and Trent on your way here, and then let's all play Arkham Horror together.
Is there a real board game?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's based on the Cthulhu mythos.
But how does it do with Arkham City?
Because Arkham Asylum was based off of something out of the Cthulhu mythos.
So I could be Batman?
No.
Oh.
Yes, if you wanted to make your own character,
no,
which I think
it's not.
Oh, dude, we're gonna bring him down, and I'm gonna make a character, and I'm gonna call him Batman.
Batman.
Batman are Garfunkel.
Anyway, we're getting off topic.
You're off topic, Nathan. You're off topic.
That's your booth dude name.
It's just like short shorts, short black shorts, sleeveless leather. Sorry. Shirt. I'm sorry. Anyway,
and not a cow, but you just have like a set of pointy ears on your head.
Pointy ears and like a robin mask over my eyes, like kitty cat ears.
Yes.
Anyway, oh my gosh,
I'll cover you in oil if you need me to.
Yeah, I totally forgot where we were. Do you want to just
talk about expansion packs?
Yeah, I know, Nathan. Thanks.
You know what's something I don't buy DLC for?
What was that?
Anything on PlayStation.
Oh, really?
I don't have a ton of games for PlayStation, but I have like The Last of Us. Obviously, that hasn't even come out yet. But like Arkham Asylum, Arkham City, and the Killzone games. But I just, for some reason, I don't know. I haven't felt like I needed to get anything for those.
Yeah.
Not a very.
Just no reason whatsoever. You just don't want to. It's cheap.
Probably I'm cheap. I don't know. I did get free DLC whenever the network went down for Killzone.
Oh yeah.
For like 4 months straight, but
like kind of like what you were saying earlier. Like I hate there's this idea that and it's the problem. The reason DLC is getting bigger and bigger is because there's been good DLC in the past, right? And like good maps, like I remember the World at War maps, those DLCs, like those are really good.
And the World at War DLC maps were awesome.
Yeah, and so they're just, it gets to the point now, like DLCs become so popular that it's expected out of almost every game. If it sells successfully enough, people expect DLC, which in a way is kind of a
that.
Yeah, I was about to say that's in a way that's kind of a problem, because you're forcing these people to make content that maybe they didn't originally decide to make, or they're having to put themselves in a position while they're developing the main game to say, okay, well, we got to start thinking DLC. The game's getting ready to come out, like, you know, and that it just takes away like genuine development time. Now, if a company makes enough money and they're not working on a new project yet, or maybe they're just doing some like you know, just like little work for another company, and so they have some extra people, and then they, you know, they cut out some good DLC, and that's great. Or if like kind of like this BioShock, like they probably wrote that storyline with the anticipation that, okay, this is what we're going to do as DLC, but it's going to be so radical, it's going to be all down in Rapture, it's going to take us a while, we'll just sell it separately. Like it like,
see that almost like I get a very weird vibe from the Infinite DLC, like almost like when it came out, like we're gonna sell a season pass, but we don't really know what we're gonna like have. I don't know, because Ken Levine has been I mean, a lot of times I mean, DLCs have very like talked about and advertised like part of the game. I mean, even if it's like a pre-order bonus or something like that, I mean, there's, you know, when DLC, if it's not already in the game, when it does come out, you get that for free or something like that. And like, I follow Ken Levine on Twitter and stuff like that, and like people would constantly, I mean, that game's been out for a while now, like people would constantly ask him about it, and he was, I mean, literally like completely tight-lipped about it.
Yeah.
And like either he's the best person in the world at being, I mean, hush-hush about, you know, what's going on, or to me it almost seemed like they didn't know what was going on, so he was like, I'm working on it, when I actually have something I'll tell you about it. So
yeah,
and like back to the point, I feel kind of like the first DLC here was, we have to put something out. Right. This is something we can just put this together. This will give us time, get that ready. We're getting our ideas together for the 2-part DLC that's coming out. That way, whenever the first one comes out, we can say, hey, but this is coming. It's in the wings.
Yeah.
So just wait for it.
Yeah. Well, like, the whole point of DLC, obviously, is to make people play the game longer. That's the point.
And to get some extra money.
well, yeah, but I mean,
well, that's what it's becoming. Probably not initially, right, but that's what it's become now.
For Call of Duty, who's releasing a game every year, who probably have every game that they need to make for the next 5 years already made, and all they got to do is make maps and release a game every year. Yeah, they're out to do it. But like Bethesda, like with the Skyrim DLC. We haven't talked about Skyrim's DLC yet. While a lot of it's kind of weird and kind of kitschy, like the building of the house, what's interesting about that stuff is it's stuff that they experimented with after they released the game. Like they did their whole Bethesda jam where they just sat around and they just did crazy stuff like horse combat. That's where crossbows came from. That's where like transforming into a giant vampire came from. That's where a lot of that stuff came from. Like riding rideable dragons, that's where that came from, and then the house building. So like they did all that stuff, and they're like, well, let's release this, but obviously let's not just say, hey, you can ride dragons now. Let's give them a storyline that allows them to like be able to ride a dragon or whatever. And that's cool. That's a cool way of doing DLC, like, because especially with the way Skyrim's such an open world. You can do whatever you want anyway. There's so many side stories and side quests. It's easy to just add in stuff from like, you know, that's just completely off the wall. But something that's like story-wise really linear, like BioShock, I bet it's really hard to make DLC for that. I bet it's really, really hard, especially something because it ended so finitely. Ironically enough, like it just ended like this is the end.
I see what you did there.
Yeah. It was pretty good. So I'm sure it was really hard for them to say, okay, how can we continue this in a way? And I'm sure there was a lot of writing that was done. And I guarantee you, while that writing was being happened, they're like, okay, we're paying you guys to be here and program stuff, so just make arena mode and make a couple maps, and then when we're ready for
and
you.
That's why I hate that it's expected. Just because like it takes away from creative standpoint, and second of all, like okay, like multiplayer based games. Since it's expected for them to have DLC, when they're creating these games, they probably already designed. I would not be surprised if they designed 3 or 4 maps and be like, well, let's not put it in the game. Let's save this for 3 months after and then put it in. That's what starts pissing me off with the season pass stuff, because it's like I love that you're expanding my experience with your game because I love the game, but then again it's like we're gonna make the game smaller, that way we can suck another $10-15 off of you in a couple months, every few months, so you can buy more maps from us.
Yeah, and obviously Call of Duty is really bad about this, and so are other people. I mean, I would venture to say even like, well, I mean, obviously Battlefield does it a little bit, and I would venture to say that even in the realm of like Halo, that's a little bit smaller, a little less money grubby because they have more. Yeah, because they have Microsoft backing them, so it's not like they're necessarily trying to money grow as much. But it's just maps drive me crazy because it's just maps. Like I was looking at the new Halo DLC, and it's maps, it's guns, it's a brand new game type that's like a football kind of game, and new armor and stuff. I was like, okay, I'll pay for that. But with Call of Duty, it's maps. It's 4 or 5 maps for like $15. Excuse me.
Yeah.
You're reusing assets. Even if you make a new tree, you're still reusing a lot of assets. You're using textures you already have.
And who's to say like these maps weren't the ones that were like that
failed.
They didn't? Yeah, they're like, but just I mean, we can hang on to that and just
that one's not
exactly.
And there's and I don't mean to just ride on Call of Duty, but it's just been I haven't played Battlefield games. Like I haven't played the latest Battlefield, so I can't really talk too much about their multiplayer. But like, it just drives me insane too, because like, it's so hit or miss. Like the World at War maps are really good, and then after that, some of the maps, like I guess Modern Warfare 2, some of that DLC was really good, but like the Black Ops 2 downloadable maps, or the Black Ops 2 and the Modern Warfare 3, a lot of those maps are hit and miss, and that drives me crazy because it's like you're using the same engine. They're using the same game engine since World at War. They may be using different guns and different like not power ups, but perks or whatever, all that kind of different stuff. So the balance is a little bit different, but you know how this game's going to be played. You've been running it competitively. Make an interesting map where I don't feel like all I have to do is run around the outside of the map, where I don't feel like
that. Modern Warfare 3, every single map was a circle that had some kind of cut through in the middle. Yeah. That's all it was. Horrible.
When I was watching the Quake live tournament, this last QuakeCon or whatever, I was amazed at how awesome those maps were and how perfectly designed they were. Like where the power-ups were, where they needed to go, and like it was all about map control and stuff with the two competitors, and that was really interesting. And the spawns were really good, and of course it was 1 versus 1 which I was watching, so I'm sure it gets a little more complicated when you have more than one person spawning. But it just, I don't know, it's like you guys have been doing this long enough. You would think they'd be able to consistently put out good multiplayer maps, not charge $15 for it.
Right. Well, this isn't really regarding downloadable maps, but that was the biggest difference from Modern Warfare to Modern Warfare 2. I remember playing Modern Warfare 2 for the first time and just being overwhelmed because I was like, there was people above me killing me. Like it was so much more vertical than the first one. So I was like, oh, I mean, you had to like really make sure, there wasn't somebody, across this alley up in a window looking down on you and stuff like that. And then Modern Warfare 3 comes around, and like I said, I mean, it's flat. I mean, it was so just very basic feeling, and it's kind of almost insulting to know like that they find it acceptable to put stuff out like that, and then to make you pay for it. It's like you already are getting. I mean, like astronomical sales, and you're just putting out what seems to be, the reject pile of things, and then making me spend $15 to get it.
It doesn't make a lot of sense, and like
and I know, I don't mean to interrupt you, but I know if anybody listens to this, which hopefully you do, the people will be like, well, you don't have to buy it. Like, I know I don't have to buy it. I don't. But the fact that that's what's going on, and there are people that are...
And it's not even that. Like, there's a lot of pressure to buy those maps because, like, all the best players are buying those maps. So if you want to keep playing with good people, like, a lot of people buy those maps, and all of a sudden you're left out, and you're left with this smaller community of people who don't buy the maps. I mean, there is a lot of pressure with that. Were you going to say something, Nathan?
No, I was just going to expand upon it. Yeah, like you were saying, I like that. Like, for instance, Battlefield. I love that they add not only maps, but they add new vehicles and weapons and stuff like that. But yeah, that makes you want to buy it more because people using those better weapons are just tearing you up.
Yeah.
If you're not buying that DLC, so.
Yeah, and like the future, I'm afraid, is going to be less DLC and more like microtransactions. That's what kind of worries me. Like, because it'll be, we release these 5 maps. You can just buy whichever map you want for $1 or $10 or whatever. Or you're gonna and they've already have it in a lot of these games where it's pay $3 and get a bunch of skins, pay dollars and get diamonds on your gun, and like that's terrifying because now all of a sudden we're in a world where people are spending money on stuff that they shouldn't even be spending the time making the stuff. They should be spending the time balancing the game, and this of course is just really for competitive multiplayer games, but they should be spending the time like balancing the game, making better maps, making stuff make more sense. I mean, and that's why I really appreciate like Halo. I go back to Halo because that's the only other competitor. I mean, I guess I could talk about like Team Fortress, but that's completely free to play anyway. But like in Halo, if there's an update for that game, it's balanced. And if there's DLC, it's content. And never are you put in a position where you, I guess they definitely encourage you to buy it, but you're never put in a position where like there's so much new stuff going out that, like they're spending time on stuff that they shouldn't. Like, even though I just said that they're like making armor and stuff for this next DLC, but the difference is it's not month to month. It's like every couple of months they finally they put this out.
I think the key to good DLC is not making, well, I guess more so in competitive games, is not making the people that don't have it be at a disadvantage.
Right.
I know.
Anyway.
Right. I know Nathan. He mentioned Battlefield, and if you don't have that content, you're just getting mobbed. I mean, that's exactly what was happening. There was I think it was the Armored Kill pack that came with like the AUG and another gun, and people. I mean, it was ruthless. Like, you didn't stand a chance if people didn't have those. Luckily, those went on sale, and I think one was even free. So I think I may have bought 1 or 2 and then got another pack for free. So, like, I stopped playing it because I wasn't having fun because I was just getting annihilated. And then I got that, and then Trent and Zach and I, we all kind of got on a kick. We were playing it a lot, but a big problem with DLC is the disadvantage it puts people that either want to earn something rather than paying for it, or just don't want to pay for it because I think it's silly, but they're at a huge disadvantage.
Yeah, pay to win is a real big problem with DLC, especially and I find that interesting, like what you were saying, because that's people buying something and then still playing with the other people who have not bought that, right?
Right.
Like they're getting those guns and then they're playing with people who have not bought those guns.
And I mean, it would just for example, I mean, you would literally come up on somebody and I'd have the default M16, and they're just turning around and just popping me 2 times with the AUG, and just they're like, oh, wait a second, that guy had his back turned when I walked up to him, and I started, shooting him. So I mean, it was very overpowered guns and stuff like that. And so, like I said, for a long time, I didn't want to spend the money to get it because I mean it wasn't cheap, but I was getting annihilated, and it wasn't fun.
Yeah, I thought the Battlefield 4 DLC was really weird because it was really. And again, I haven't played it, and I haven't played the game, and I haven't played any of the DLC, so it might have not been as weird. But like, it was so segmented. Like, you had the vehicles maps, then you had like, was there one with like motorcycles or something? I don't know. And then there's like,
I mean, like they're all pretty similar, but they're like the Armored Kill had a bunch of new vehicles, but then like one came out with like that had dirt bikes in it. That was like
that's weird.
But as far as competitive multiplayer
close quarters
DLC goes, I mean, the Battlefield 3 DLC is by far, I mean, it's great because there's new. It's not just stupid maps. It's new vehicles, new guns. This, that, and the other. So I mean, it really is. I mean, as far as like competitive gameplay DLC goes, it really is great. But there were a few small things that didn't seem fair about it.
Yeah, I play a lot of Awesome Knots with my friend Mitchell, and we're horrible at it. But every time, and they release new characters. Like the DLC for Awesome Knots is basically skins for your characters. It's barely DLC. It's just a skin for your character that you unlock that you can pay for, which is fine. But they constantly release, or not constantly, but every once in a while they'll release a new character to play as, which is cool. That's great. And it's completely free. They just release it. It updates. You've got it. You got to play against it. But every time something like that happens, that character's completely overpowered or they're underpowered, and they gotta patch it. So I mean, that's kind of understandable, and that's there's a lot to say about like, oh, they should be making sure that when they release this stuff, it's perfect. But until you get it into the public's hands, I guess it's kind of hard to tell like how something's gonna go specifically.
And don't forget, kids, you can witness Paul playing Awesome Knots on Playing Games and Saying Things every week on twitch.tv/FreeTheHawk.
Woo! I'm actually going to try Miss Ruthie, who's going to be happy to know that I said her name. I'm just going to start saying all our friends' names and like texting them and be like, you're in the FTHcast.
You better watch it.
You better watch it because you're
a
in
bad
it.
Friend.
But she sent me some other website about streaming. So I think it's still through Twitch, but I don't know. I'm gonna look that up. So there may be some changes in the future. We'll see.
Which.tv?
Twitch. Did I say which? I said Twitch.
No, I never mind.
Oh, which.tv? Twitch. That should be like their television commercial. Don't you no? Okay. Anyway, goodness, I think we're right about there. I think that was a good topic. Was there anything we want to finish on? I'm trying to figure out if there's something I was getting ready to say or not. I don't think there was.
What? I've got an ending, I guess.
Rebuttal?
Sort of. Yeah, I guess. What is DLC that has pissed you off, or like you just thought was absolutely stupid? Or
that's a good one. We'll start with Nathan because he's been quiet for like half an hour because we talk over him the whole time.
No, I'm good. What was the question again? Though?
He wasn't even listening. He's watching Game of Thrones. He's catching up.
Yeah.
Your most disliked DLC, or just one that you thought was completely asinine?
Waste of money.
Oh God. Come back to me. I gotta think. Hold on.
Oh God, don't come to me though.
Paul,
start us off.
Actually, I might have to.
It's kind of weird because I go into DLC, right, with a game that I already like. So that makes it hard, right? And then I'm also pretty good about like saying, oh, that DLC doesn't look good. But actually, you know what? I can think of one. It was Knights of the Nine for Oblivion. What? I was really disappointed because it was just like a quest, and you get armor at the end and a weapon. Like, I was pretty disappointed about that, even though that definitely wasn't the most disappointing. I mean, they had horse armor, but at the time I thought horse armor was amazing. I was like, oh, this is so cool. My horse now looks cool, even though it's going to die soon because I'm going to take it somewhere and some monster's going to kill it while I'm... Whatever. Can I say, worst thing about Skyrim is I buy a horse for 1,000 gold coins, I ride it around, I step off, it wanders off, wolves kill it, and I'm thinking, why did I buy this horse?
Horses are...
That's why you need to do the Dark Brotherhood quest and get that invincible horse.
Oh.
It's freaking awesome.
See, I even got I bought the house, right? I bought the house DLC.
I did not buy that. That looked dumb. I'm sorry.
It's actually a lot cooler than you think it is. It's a lot more in depth, and I'm finding out that it's even more in depth than I thought it was. And I got a stable, and I put my horse in the stable. Fast traveled somewhere else. Oh, guess who followed me? My freaking horse. Like, thanks, guy. I'm pretty sure I put you away so you wouldn't die, and I could say I have a horse, but now you're gonna die. So screw you. Ugh. That's so stupid. If they just had horse armor, so my horse would be more protected, it'd be better. That's it.
I do have one broad, but it's any DLC that you get from pre-ordering that essentially makes the game infinitely easier.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I did not download any of the Last of Us DLC that I got. I think it was called like the Survival Pack or Uber Hack Life Hack Pack or something. But I did not download that. I did not want anything that gave me advantage. The guns that you got for download or for pre-ordering Infinite, they were gold, which this is really stupid, but it took me out of the game. Like, I wanted to have like a beat up looking, pistol. I wanted the stock one, but instead I had this like gold pistol and a gold submachine gun. So I just think like.
Those incentives are usually pretty horrible.
Well, and the one that always sticks out in my mind is the flaming assault rifle from I think it was Gears 2. Oh yeah. And I think like one of the skins was who was the black guy? Coltrane?
Yeah.
He came in like football armor. I was like,
oh yeah.
Really? This is what Gears of War fans are asking for?
Yeah.
Football armor for their...
If I'm going to pre-order, I better get football armor.
To fight the Locust and get jacked and tan.
Oh, yeah.
Nathan,
don't get me started, guys. Don't even get me started.
You're the only one who hasn't started, Nathan. Or, I mean, finished. Whatever. Answer the question. Answer the question. Drum roll, please.
I'm going to rub your thighs if you don't.
Okay. Just because I can't think of anything. There's a Borderlands 2 DLC that came out. Was like Sir Hammerlock's, I don't know.
The Dungeons and Dragons one?
No. That one was actually pretty freaking awesome.
I was about to say, that one looked sweet.
No, this one was pretty gay. It was just
it has a Dark Souls reference. But anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, I don't know. It was just really boring, and it wasn't funny like most Borderlands games are, and I don't know. Just didn't get into it at all. Thought it was lame.
Yeah. Good job, Borderlands 2. Dropped the ball again. Anyway, I think this is a good time to wrap it up, don't you? What do you think, guys? Worst podcast ever or worst podcast?
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. We're sorry. No, I'm just kidding.
Bad podcast or worst podcast?
Yeah, but no. That's all right. So, follow us. Twitter, @FreeTheHawk, @WhoAmKyle, @Heisenberg56. If you don't know who we are, it doesn't matter. If you don't know which one's which, it doesn't matter. We all tweet the same thing. Stupid stuff. Again, game of the month is Earthbound for August, so that'll be the end of the month. Monday, the end of the month, whenever that is. The last Monday of this month. I still have not looked up what that date is. I need to put that on the show notes. But that's okay. Anything else we need to cover? Next week's topic will be announced whenever we figure that one out. We don't do this stuff last minute. I promise you that. Whatever you might think. Ugh, this is
you need to.
You're blowing it.
I'm blowing it. This is the first podcast I've ever had to like come straight off work and come home.
Yeah, I've been working. Yeah,
so
okay.
I've been working out. All right, I've been no.
You need to take this a little bit more seriously and develop your intro and outro.
You're right. I'll do it next week. Oh, dude. If you thought this podcast was bad, wait till next week because I'm going to be ready. And it's going to be sweet. It's going to be amazing. Anyway, thank you all for listening. Of course, you can find us on YouTube at youtube.com/FreeToHawk for all those who listen to us on iTunes. And for those of you who listen to us on YouTube, you can listen to us on iTunes if you just search FTHcast. I'm also on twitch.tv/FreeToHawk. I've been thinking about putting up more different videos on YouTube. I just haven't. I'm just lazy. No, it's not that. I just kind of enjoy what I'm doing right now with YouTube. It's a lot easier not having to edit those videos up and just put these up. Makes my life easier. I have a real job, people. Doesn't matter though. Anyway, you guys want to hear more about my life, or should we just end this?
We should probably end it.
All right. See you later, guys.
Bye-bye.
Say bye, Nathan.
Bye.
Is Nathan even part of this anymore? God.
Sorry, guys. I just lost all interest.
Where's podcast?